guys. So as promised, this is a narration of a video that I did on New Year's Eve, and that was kind of like an ASMR video, but not really. I just tagged it as ASMR because there was no narration. I was extremely tired, full on exhausted actually, and we had a lot going on, but I also got kind of bored on New Year's Eve and needed to put up some video. Otherwise, when you have this many followers, you can say in a billion different places that you're going to take the week off, and whenever you come back and check messages, you will have 500 messages from people saying, "Where's the video? Are you okay? Did you die? Did you die in an extremely dead way?" And I have to explain that no, I am not dead as anything that has ever died. I just took a week off. But I put up that video, and even though it said bonus video and then it had the dumb ASMR tag on it, I still had a ton of people, and we're talking like 100 to 200 people, get mad that I wasn't narrating the video. Anyway, I won't get into all that. The point is, I put up a video with no narration, and now you guys get to hear the narration for it, so suck it. So first off, how did this house get into this condition? And that's kind of a long story, and I'll try to make it as less long as possible. I don't think there's a word for less long, so we'll just use less long. Several months ago, we had a problem with the house. There was a foundation issue, and then a concrete pad that was the floor of my bedroom had split into two pieces, and then one side of that sunk 2 inches. So we had to have $30,000 worth of work done to the house. They had to fix the foundation, and they had to polyfill underneath the part of the floor that sunk and raise it up to being level again. And in order to get that fixed, it meant that we had to tear out our bedroom and put it upstairs because we had to tear out the carpet and just all kinds of stuff. That room had to be basically gutted so they could work on it. That set off a chain reaction that made us gut other rooms in the house. So it basically went like this. We had to move our bedroom into a temporary bedroom upstairs. The one that we chose used to be an art room, but it was basically unused. So what we had to do was move the art room stuff into my daughter's old bedroom, which was also not being used, because hers is the largest traditional bedroom in the house. So it had more storage area. So we created an art room in there and then moved all the extra junk into that room so that we could make a bedroom in the old art room. I know this sounds convoluted. It'll make more sense in the video. Then Christmas started approaching, and we needed to make room in the living room to put Christmas trees, decorations, and then to have enough room for all of our friends and family to come over and open gifts. So all the extra stuff from the living room also went into that new storage room. Because of this, every time that we needed to store more stuff, it had to go into Adrian's old room until the holidays passed. So after Christmas, the foundation was fixed, the concrete padding was fixed, and we could finally move our bedroom from the smaller room into something more reasonable. So that set off a chain reaction where we decided we were going to take Adrian's old bedroom, then move all the stuff in her bedroom downstairs and make the downstairs into the new art room. Then the room that we were vacating would be turned into a guest room. The simple version of all that is we decided to take all of our junk storage and clean it up, box it up, put it where it goes, and to make these rooms functional again. So suck it. So that process required me to do what I call my move out, move in cleaning method. We had to completely gut all of these rooms, and every box that you see me moving out of each of these rooms are going down 2 flights of stairs, then I'm going back up empty-handed 2 flights of stairs, and then continuing that over and over. I was so exhausted while doing this cleaning that at the end of the night, whenever I finally had a chance to sit down, my legs felt like jello. I had like reduced mobility for the rest of the night and part of the next day. So yeah, we're going to take everything out of this room, and it's all going downstairs to make one big pile of crap. We're going to consolidate all of our crap pile into a much larger crap pile. Then I can bring in our bed, I can bring in the dresser, and all the stuff that we need for a functional bedroom into this room. Get it all made and decorated. Then I will go to what was our temporary bedroom. It'll be mostly gutted at that that point, because that's part of the process that you're seeing now. And then we will build that into the guest bedroom. And as I'm building these rooms, the giant pile of extra stuff that we've created will start to dwindle little bits at a time because we'll be putting them into use. Then once I get those done, I can go downstairs and start organizing all that and turning it into an actual arts and crafts room. Now, there are several things that we want to do with this room, but we're not worried about just yet. Step one is getting everything in place and getting the rooms functional so we could use them. Step two would be to go a little bit further and start decorating and painting and all that. So speaking of painting, that's one of the big things we want to do with this room. We want to change the colors, and we want to take out that gross brown carpet. I mean, it's in okay shape, but we're not big carpet people. That's just been in there since we've owned the house. It would make sense for us to do it now while the room's gutted, but the problem is that would have also added several days onto making this room functional. So at some point we'll come back in here, re-gut this room again, paint it, pull out that carpet, put in hardwood floors, and then redo it as a traditional bedroom. But right now it's more of a case of Mac and Emily need sleep. Yes, you do need sleep. You just need room for sleep. Yes, you do need room for sleep. So that's what we're building. Now, gutting the second room wasn't nearly as big of a chore because we've already got most of that work done. So I'm just moving out the last of the stuff. And then the biggest change we're going to make out of this room is just vacuuming up the immense amount of dog hair. We have three cats and one dog, and they get hair everywhere. And even like whenever I pulled out the beds and stuff, I'm like, oh, that's not bad. I can see the hair on the floor, but it's not really that bad. And then I started vacuuming it, and I was like, oh, I was gravely mistaken. I ended up filling the canister twice with just dog hair. But again, whenever you're gutting a room, this is when you can really get into deep cleaning. If I would have been crazy and had more energy, I would have done the baseboards and everything. But I'm more worried about turning this into a guest room so that it's off my plate. For those of you who've been asking, Emily's doing up and down. She had to go into the ER every 2 days for a week because her calcium level spiked so high that she was in danger of going into a coma or just having cardiac arrest. And so we kind of got that leveled and kind of don't, but they finally scheduled her surgery for the beginning of February. So we just have to fight through this next month, make sure that her calcium stays level so that there's no danger. And then finally she'll get the parathyroid tumor removed, and they said that pretty much immediately fixes the problem. But until then, she is 100% out of energy. It's hard for her to even get up and like do dishes or have our traditional backflip fights, which one day I'll show on camera. But last time I tried to record one of those, the camera exploded. So it's just the level of awesomeness that happens whenever we do backflip fights. So I will attempt someday to show you guys what that looks like, but definitely not while she doesn't have the energy to do it. By the way, if you ever want to know if you've got too much clothing, switch bedrooms from one to another, or just take out all of your clothes and put them on your bed and then rehang them, because the act of putting those into a closet or a dresser, if that wears you out, you have too much clothing. Or if you're finding that you're trying to stuff clothes into like a closet and you're having to smash them together in order to get more in, you probably have way too much. That's how I found out that we have way too much clothing, is I was carrying most of this from downstairs in our old closet up 2 flights of stairs into the new closet. And it may not seem like much until you make like 5 or 6 trips. And then at that point, you're like, do I really need all these pants? Do I really need this extra shirt that was bought for me as a joke for a birthday like 10 years ago that I've never worn? All right, so let's talk about this tree real quick. I've explained it before, but I always have to remember not everybody sees every single video that I do. The reason this tree has an umbrella on the bottom of it is it holds little kind of like styrofoam type of beads, and those beads get pumped up through an air pump through the center pole that holds up the tree, and then it gets fanned out at the top with like this little upside down mini umbrella, and the tree snows on itself. There are videos out there somewhere, and I'm too lazy to go look up which ones they are. But there are some videos out there of the tree working and snowing on itself. I think we did one on a live at some point for members only. But taking that down is way, way harder than putting it up. So finally we're jumping into this where we can take this tree down and put it away, then move this 280-pound massage chair into the tree's old place. And we're doing all that not just to get rid of the Christmas stuff, but I have a 1981 Technics stereo, and I wanted to get that put up in the living room because it's been downstairs for like the last 3 months, and I wanted to try out my new speakers and all that. So before we dive into the downstairs stuff, I wanted the living room in order, and that involves taking down the tree and then vacuuming up the 100 million gallons of extra styrofoam balls that get everywhere because that tree is the devil. The devil. Also, speaking of that massage chair, that was one of the splurge gifts that I got Emily for Christmas. A lot of people have asked me about that. Where did I get it? How much did it cost? I got it on Amazon, and the place that I got it from is now out of those. But if you're thinking about getting one, be warned, it's like a $2,500 chair. It's pretty awesome, but for $2,500, it damn well should be. That is, I think, last year's model. I looked up the new model, and I'm not going to link any of this because I don't want to promote something that I don't know if it's a scam site. I don't know if they're selling junk products or refurbished or whatever. But the ones I looked at just a couple of days ago, the new models are like $3,000 to $3,500. So they are not cheap entities. So now we come to the most popular question I got on that original video. What are you doing with all the boxes? Here they are. We put them all downstairs. That room was so packed with stuff. And keep in mind, this is like all the extra stuff in the house that didn't have a place, or it originally had a place, but its purpose was for arts and crafts. Part of what you're seeing in the background when you saw the still shot, all that gigantic pile of boxes, that's all products that we're going to be selling on the YouTube channel. It's all cleaning stuff. I just haven't opened the boxes yet. But all the rest of the stuff is arts and crafts stuff, computers, computer desk, and it just needs to be put in its place, which is why I insulted it a lot. So this is where you need some skill to make this happen because you've got a room that is packed head to toe with stuff and you don't have a lot of room to move. So this is where you start basically doing like a Tetris sort of deal. My first thing was to put together the computer because I knew where that was going to go, and that would take care of the desk, printer, PC, monitor, keyboard, mouse, speakers, and a bunch of wiring and cords. Once I got that all together, it means that that naturally stacks with each other. And so rather than being spread out all across the floor, it's now where it needs to go and it's tightly packed so it gives me walking room. Once I clear out enough floor, then I can vacuum this one section at a time. All the little black dots that you're seeing on the floor are Asian beetles. We all refer to them as ladybugs, even though they're not. We know they're not, but anytime we refer to them as ladybugs, somebody will inevitably correct us and say, well, they're not ladybugs, they're Asian beetles. We don't care. They're brown ladybugs, and they get everywhere in both the winter and then again in the spring. They come in your house and immediately die in gigantic piles, and you have to constantly vacuum them up. I think farmers brought those in. They imported them in years and years ago to help with, I think, aphids or something like that. It was some sort of crop destroying bug or parasite that the Asian beetles love to eat. The problem was once we got them over here, they reproduced like crazy, and now we have an infestation of mock ladybugs. Once I finish vacuuming, I'm just going to continue what I was doing, setting up the computer in its entirety, and then I'm going to just start looking at piles on the floor, and my goal is to give myself more room to walk. So I'll start picking up things like old Halloween costumes and things that are in piles on the floor, because the more floor I uncover, the more progress it feels like I've made. It's psychologically a boost, and you really need that whenever you're exerting this much energy, because I was extremely tired. By the way, that was an extremely common comment that I got on the quote-unquote ASMR video, was that it looked like I was extremely mad or frustrated or irritable. There's two reasons for that. One is, if you were to turn off the narration in my regular videos, you'll see me making the same faces and cleaning with the same demeanor. The narration makes it seem happier than what it actually is because I'm narrating in a happy way. And two, I wasn't irritated or mad. I was extremely exhausted, like to the point that it was concerning. But once I start a project, I can't stop. But my back hurt, my legs hurt, my knee was out, both my shoulders were out. We were still dealing with Emily's medical problems. We were doing the wrap up on getting the basement back into order. There were 100 million things going on in our house that just made me mentally and physically exhausted. But I wasn't mad or frustrated cleaning this stuff up. It's just when you take away the narration, you get to see me as me, and then you're focusing on me because you're not focusing on my voice. A lot of autistic people have a masking behavior where they will change their tone of voice or they will change their mannerisms in order to fit in with other people. When I'm cleaning, I don't have to do that. It's not a conscious thing you do. It's more of a subconscious thing. But when you're cleaning, you just zone out, and then that's how you normally look. What you're seeing whenever I'm cleaning in silence, and the faces I make and the way I hold myself and the body language that I put out, that's me at 100% myself, no masking. And if you're one of the people who wonder if I clean while listening to music or listening to podcasts, I don't. It actually distracts me from what I'm trying to do. So if I have music that I'm really into, I start thinking about the music and concentrating on it and listening to the lyrics. And then I'm not focused on the thing that I'm actually trying to do, which is clean, and treat each cleanup like an art project. I lose focus on it. Also, if I were to play music out loud with no earbuds, and I hate earbuds, that's another autistic thing. I can't handle things being in my ears. But if I play that out loud, then I get a copyright strike, or I have to narrate over the top of it, or I have to find some trick to hide the music from YouTube. So it's better for me on multiple ends if I don't listen to anything and I just clean in silence. So at some point, we're going to be completely revamping this basement, and yes, I will do it. I call it a basement. It's not a basement. It's a 3-tiered house. It's a split level mid-century modern. So we call it the basement even though it's not. Anyway, that's off track. I'm rambling. We're going to be taking off all the old paneling from the walls and replacing it with drywall. We're going to be pulling up all that old nasty carpet, putting down some padding, and then laying vinyl plank flooring over the top of it because that sees a lot of pet traffic. It also sees a lot of like work traffic. If I'm doing laundry or doing lawn work or whatever, we use that downstairs as kind of a through area to get from one place to the other. So I need something that looks nice but is easy to clean up. And then that will continue being the arts and crafts room as well as like a little reading area and TV area. The kind of it's kind of like one of those that everybody needs, a leave me alone area where you just go by yourself to do your thing and decompress. But it's all going to be gutted, rebuilt, and then painted soothing colors so that it's relaxing. It'll have different lighting. That drop ceiling's going away, and we'll put an actual ceiling in there. Some adjustable LED lights because I like bright lights. Emily likes soft, yellow, warm lights. So we need to be able to change those from person to person. All of that will eventually be on film, and then I will post it for the channel. But that's further down the road. That's low on my priority list right now. The only thing I'm really worried about right now is just making the room functional. And then the last thing that we did was set up the stereo and put my records away. If you're wondering how I sorted those, mine went on the right, Emily's went on the left. We do have crossover albums that both of us like, but there's also ones that like you're more prone to play. So whenever she's alone, she's more prone to play the ones on the left. If I'm alone, I'm more prone to play the ones on the right. Eventually, I'll be building a big, like an actual vinyl shelf, and that'll be directly mounted to the wall, but we have to buy more vinyl, and again, that's a low priority on the list right now. Anyway, as always, thank you for being members, because without you being members, I'd have fired Jason a long time ago. If you didn't know it, we have a new shirt out that says Live, Laugh, Spin Kick, and I need to order one of those for myself because that's just too funny. Happy New Year to everyone. I will see everybody this weekend. Later.
Jeremy Todd is a local. His album, it is good, but his like vinyl is bright ass blue. It's really cool. I believe that is Death Row Tall. Another one behind you too. I'm pretty sure we did. That thing was packed full. That's weird.